How we doing, chat? What up? What up, Miss K? Adam, Vish? How we doing? Nice, we're in the same short. Hell yeah, Daniel. I feel like it was pretty clear. I did try one here as well. So I was down like $100 to start the session, but now I'm just letting runners do their thing. What up, TCM? What up, KG? Simon? As did I. I feel like this market is impossible to not short right out the gate. I feel like it's impossible to not see some type of rally and be like, you know what? I'm going to short this. We'll see, though. My far target is a little extreme. So we'll see if we can get down to that area. But I'm going to look at a few time frames to see where exactly I would really want to go to. Probably like 220s would be a solid spot. I mean, I'm delusional, but I want 200. So we'll see. Let me trail that stop. Out the way, there was a shitload of news in the after hours. A shitload. Blink, what news are you talking about that you're shorting right before the news? Oh yeah, no, it's not Iran popping off. We are popping off, and Iran's popping back. We're currently apparently in a naval battle with Iran right now. So do with that what you will. What up, David? What up, Trader? What up, Adrian? Victoria? But yeah, out the way, the news was once again at 5 p.m. The U.S. started bombing Iran like crazy. And then they started attacking U.S. naval vessels. So we'll see. Blink, we said we did that within the first week. And apparently they still have ships. So I don't know. Yeah, Nader, that's what I thought too. Anyways, how'd you guys do today? I'm gonna make a little poll. I did take a little off. I get stopped out at 56 if we get up there. I saw streams absolutely crushing it today. Across the board. Phenomenal day so far. Super green. Love it, Victoria. I might catch a 150-point shitter. Adrian, I would love it. My target on this, which is kind of nuts on ES, is 60 points. And I would love to hold the rest of this at least down to 20. If I can, hold the rest down to 200. We'll see. If we start getting more of that range-bound shit like last night, I'm not going to be overly interested in it. But we'll see. Good, Connor. I took one smaller trade. Nothing crazy. I think it was like 2R, somewhere around there. Other than that, I didn't do a whole lot. Slightly toasted. What up? Daily loss limit. Naders. Sometimes that happens. It's unfortunate. I hoed bad. Yeah, no, Miss K, I agree with Victoria. We might need a little bit of an explanation there. What up, Alan? I'm in gold shorts. Hell yeah. Got a nice 100-point move on the downside. NQ light 5 micros. Ooh, what a trade. What's crazy is in today's market, 100 points is nothing on NQ. Absolutely fucking nothing. It's still a beautiful trade, but it is nothing in the grand scheme of what we're doing. I have a trailed stop right at yesterday's low, actually. Well, today's low. So if we get all the way back up there, this trade will be like, I'd have like 150 realized after being minus 100. So like 250 off of it. Look at the poll. What do you mean look at the poll? That doesn't tell me how you hoed. That doesn't give me any details. What up, Alan? Wait. Did I? Son of a bitch. Well, how'd you do, guys? How'd you do? Should have read that one a little bit. See, look at that, though. Miss K paying attention to details. The other 22 of you didn't. I hoed hard, Miss K. Oil got a really nice rally so far. The weekly on oil is getting a little interesting if it holds. If it holds, that weekly looks enticing. We'll see if we can get the continued momentum in the market. I anticipate some nastier price action, right? We can get volatile. Problem is, I did move my stop here. I might slide it up to my entry around the open. I'm going to do that. Move my stop up to 59. These 3 contracts, if I get stopped out, would make me 15 whole dollars. So hell yeah. NQ better to trade than MGC. That's just personal preference at that point. They are both volatile ass names to trade. So it's just what type of volatility do you want? They both get aggressive spikes. They both lower time frame, extreme volatility. I think they're basically the same thing. What up, Polar Bear? How you doing? Oh, gotta put. Secure to payout? Hell yeah. Yeah, Connor, that's just, it's a part of it. That's the problem with the New York Open. It's just that volatility can spike you out and then do everything you dreamed of. I watched my ES shorts go for 40 more points. That's going to happen. That's going to happen every single day. Unless you are just an absolute menace sniper with your runners, that's going to happen. Yeah, Polar Bear, the news going on right now is not bullish at all. And the fact that the war is going on like this, just, you lose a lot of faith in that thing ending anytime soon. And I truly don't think it's going to. I don't think there's going to be an agreement anytime in the near future. QQQ calls went from 3 to 11 today, so it was beautiful. Did you catch that in the morning, Victoria? You had to have. Unless you caught it here. Those are like the only 2 opportunities where I'd see that happening. Had to be this morning rally. Guessing it dipped down. You bought the dip. Probably off of just below, like right around like 800-ish. And then let it rip. Would be my guess. I did and held it all day. Victoria, did you mean to type puts? Because you said QQQ calls. And if you held those all day, you're in trouble. You know? I don't think those did very well. That's what I was saying. Joanna, if we're being honest, it's down there. It's down there. I want to see 200. I do. I want to see last month's low get tested. So we'll see if we get that extreme of a continuation. But that is like the main area I want. I might take one runner off at like 72.20s, but I kind of just want to hold them. I already took half my position off, so it's risk-free in general. I made technically 200 on this trade, but I was already down 100 on the day. So I got too excited. Victoria, if you held them all day, that's a beautiful hold. Did SPX hit 72? No, we are we're still 70 points away from that. So I don't think SPX did that. Appreciate you, brother. I was short. Joining said, my man, hell yeah. I love this trade. But like I said earlier, I tried one here on this rally and I got stopped out on this wick for like $100 loss. Because I'm not sizing aggressive today. I'm just looking for a larger move with lower size. I started this with 6 micros, so we're just going to see what we can get out of it and just ride it with that. So I'm definitely not going more aggressive, but I'm looking for a more aggressive move. Are you AI? Yes, Barca. This is completely AI generated. For YouTube purposes, it is not. That was a joke. Don't ban me. I'm in 4 minis. Me and you got different sizing parameters, my guy. Me and you got different sizing parameters. Kimmel, what asset are you looking to trade? That answers most questions. Step 1. What up, right guy? MGC. I don't trade that a lot, so chat. $1,000 in drawdown. What size for MGC? This is where I go to you guys. DLP, we can bounce, but I'm not looking for longs. I'm not. When you have a daily inside bar that looks like this across the board on the indices and YM looks like this, at this point, I would want YM down around 49.4s, maybe even 49,000. Like, I want blood on the overnight. I do. And I'm usually not like overly bearish, but this is a very hard chart to long. So I definitely won't be trying to buy any dips. I'm just going to be looking to scale out as we go. All right, Kamel, if you look at chat, a lot of them are answering. Well, Polar Bear, the one thing as well is there's one asset that I was deeply paying attention to, and you guys should remember at least one of the two, right? The two were oil and the dollar. Any over 100, I start to get bearish. The dollar broke. The dollar's been over 100 for a little bit. It's trying to get over that 100.2. If it gets over that, I want nothing to do with longs at all. I will likely just be waiting for potential shorts no matter what on every rally while the dollar's over 100.2. If oil also continues this rally and gets above like 97s, because oil is lagging exponentially right now. Exponentially in this current market. If oil gets real bidding pressure, it's going back up to 100.1. If it gets over 100.1 and the dollar's also over 100, I'm doing nothing but shorting the market wholeheartedly. IGC. Gold looks good. Dude, gold is just, this is a disgusting sell-off. Gold hates this war. It really does. Oh, gold slammed these lows today. We talked about that as a target on last night's stream. All right, dude, hear me out. And there's one spot I talked about as well. I wish I could remember what stream it was on. But tell me gold's not going to 3,700 looking at this chart. Tell me we're not going down here to test this. And I'm going to go over, we got a decent amount of people in here. We just broke 100. We're like 15 minutes in. So I'm going to start going over like broader charts. This gold chart, if we lose this wick low around like 40-ish, it screams it's going to 3,700 to me. It does. But we go down there, yeah, Gael, that's the same thing. Short on the way down, buy gold bars when we hit support, right? Get the actual liquid asset of it and start buying. With ES, if we're looking at the higher time frames, I would love this to pull down to 7,100. That would be like absolute dream world target if we can get down here and retest prior all-time highs. And that would be healthy. If this is a 5-minute chart, you would love this little retest right here to look for a potential long. So that is where I'm stalking if we continue to short. If we lose 7,100, GG's. Absolute G's. That would also put NQ down around 26.8, somewhere in that area. It's like 26.2 to 26.8. Obviously, NQ's volatile as hell, so it is a lot wider of a range. YM's already below its all-time highs. RTY would be like 2,800. We do have a lot of room if we end up getting that push lower. I'm going to trail stop to 52. Makes sense there. Really shouldn't get back above this high, because it would have to break this low again and this high. So we'd have to get through this entire area to get up there. Shouldn't do it. We'll see if we can keep holding it. So far, gorgeous trade. I wish it happened like 10 minutes later so it was on stream, but 3 hours so far. Not too shabby. Hell yeah, Alan. Just pass another eval. Love it. Love it. Gael, I feel like that would be like if you had proof of buying the gold, they would just collateralize against it. So I feel like it's possible, right? Or you just take out a loan to buy gold. And then when you have the physical gold, you can take out loans against the gold, because that bank's just going to collateralize it, and then you just buy more gold. Easy. Easy. Adrian, so that sounds far, right? 1,700 points sounds aggressively far. However, that is what we traded within 2.5 hours yesterday. It sounds crazy. It sounds like an extreme move. That's just yesterday's price action. That's $100 more than the move we had yesterday. It's not that crazy in this market. It's not. Either file for bankruptcy or become a rich man. Guy, it may take a few years, but you know, when it finally goes, you might be in. Then you double dip and you take a third loan off against gold, and then you buy a bunch of stocks with it. What's your PT? Tiffany, I'm looking towards 220 for a possible like one contract trim, but 200s. Blake, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Jake might have continued to trade. Sometimes he does, right? Sometimes I trade after stream. I just don't know for certain. I haven't asked him about it. Where's AXP? He must be making a bag off these puts. I think AXP already retired. I think he bought a chain of small islands somewhere in the tropics and is just retired. Jake's at the game drinking Guinness right now. Yeah, I don't think he gives a shit about gold. I don't think he cares in the slightest about gold. What up, Cold Rose? Hell yeah, Patek. Love it. Love it. We be chilling. So you're who I think you are. just by your profile picture. I can tell just by the way you worded that statement. How are we sitting here? I'll take one more. Glad I took one more. So I'll get stopped out right here on runners. There she goes. Oh, since I sold an extra, it put me short. So I just lost an extra $30. Sick. All right. Well, I went flat on this. Don't like some good old-fashioned volatility. 135 points there in the last 25 seconds on NQ. Liquidated. If it just ran that stop for absolutely no reason to retest. U.S. fighter jets operating over the skies of Iran. Beautiful. Bro, that would be a disgusting rally if it hits here and then just mantles. That one would be unfortunate if it goes to 200. Yeah, I did. I didn't watch a whole lot of it. I was mainly just interested in gears. Yeah, Adrian, I feel like a lot of people just got stopped there. I feel like a lot of people just got stopped. If it just slams back lower, unfortunate. Couldn't give me any chance to set up another limit order? No. Yeah, that's what I'm watching. That's what I'm looking to play. Take his phone away? I don't think he said anything crazy. Oh, he said bombing will stop shortly. Because Iran asked him to. Huh? This shit makes no sense. I was in the bathroom from a distance and her order filled. Yeah, unfortunate. What up, Dougie? Oh, Guile, you just got filled. Ooh. Yeah, if someone had a limit order set on yesterday's low on ES, you're chilling. But at this point, if we're getting, because I'm on the 5 minute, obviously. If we're getting 1 minute candles like this, I'm gonna wait a minute. I'm gonna wait a second, because that's kind of fucking disgusting. You go to NQ, and we just get a little 30-second, 130-point rally. It's just light work around the board. I'm spewing. Daniel, that doesn't sound good. Honestly, I'm starting to think it was Victoria because I'm reading chat. She goes, these are the days to hold. And then 130-point wick on NQ. So it might be Victoria's fault here. Got to size down and average in. Oh, I'm 100% interested in getting another position. I'm just waiting till we're not getting 5-second 20-point candles on ES. But I'm interested in getting back in. It's just going to be unfortunate if this is the entry and it just slammed me out, which it very well might be. It's my fault. But Patek, I believe that with you trading 4 minis on an account. Yeah, no, it kind of disrespectful there. A lot of the chat's going to be against you. I don't use stop losses. Victoria, you can leave because That's kind of crazy. We don't need in the night stream. That is kind of delusional. We do not need here. Evening, Beck. This is like candles like this though are why I use hard stops, especially if I'm sized more aggressive, just because I've been crushed at times on stuff like this. Oh no, if it works for someone, I'll judge them for it, but a little bit, but not on like a personal level. Five-minute looks like it wants consolidation, then lower. Could, but it depends. I'm waiting for this 15 at least, so I need 5 more minutes. Yeah, Tiffany, but that's also what happens when Asia session now involves the U.S. bombing Iran every single time the session opens. We're going to get this type of shit. What are you thinking, bulls or bears? I'll ask the chat. I would be shocked if it is heavily bullish, but I could see people leaning bullish after that kind of stuff. All right, chat, there's your new poll. Dot, what's the problem with mid-rare stakes? Why are we judging mid-rare stakes here? %, Gabe. No, Victoria, I'm making the chat pick one or the other. I left that one off on purpose. Because I just personally feel like chat's going to be aggressively bearish and then the market's going to rally right after. That's how it goes most days. I said I. See, Dot, I judge people that get their steaks done over, like above like medium. Like if you get a well done steak, what's the point? Just go eat a chunk of leather. It's close enough. Gator, I watched a video on that yesterday about how the market, people saying the market physically can't die because of the amount of money we have to print just to pay our interest payments. And you probably eat it rare, medium rare or rare, one or the other. Depends on the kind of steak and the quality of it. I use stop loss, but find myself moving a lot. Right, guy. I mean, you guys actually watch me do it as well. Well done, steak, straight to jail. Agreed. Agreed. I really don't know what I want here. I mean, if the 15 closes strong like this, I'm not interested in shorting. I'm not. But see how fast thesis can flip there? Like if we get above the open, now I can see a thesis for being bullish. Because you look at the hourly and the 30-minute, and you're going to see that lower wick across the board. And if we get back above yesterday's lows, what's actually really important here is it is this wick low. So we go back, and we would be sweeping this low, getting buying pressure right back up, back around this overall support. So I could see a thesis for playing some type of long. I don't know what I would do risk to reward wise on it though. I feel like it'd be one where I take, get out half and just see what the runners do. Imagine that's bottom back to all-time highs. That would be crazy. But a daily structure, it would make sense. It would. Those are just 15-minute pivots that I use on these sessions. So that one was from just before stream, I drew it. It's this area low and then, or no, that's the one that was on yesterday. That was our like low level target from last night's session. I drew one today. I think I drew this. Yeah, no. Did I draw that one? I don't know. I drew one of these today. I don't remember which one. Shaboinky's generational name. But also, are you saying you ended green on the day? Because if so, congrats. A test from there could be good, but personally, I don't want to short this 15-minute candle. Or I don't want to short that immediately. I would need to see some other price action kind of form up. Maybe just go up, test like 70s and slam back below the open. But it's not a candle I'm dying to short into. 2G's red. Not bad though. You made at least half it back. TCM, that's the thing. When we get to the extremes, but my thing is, I feel like we're not at the extremes yet, where everyone's like, oh my God, the market's dead. We're going to hear a lot of retail saying that in general, and that's just how it goes. But I feel like we're not at that extreme level. I always blow up in ranges like this. Don't trade. Yeah, no, extremes for me would be the daily just within a few days taking out 7,100. Then I would be like, all right, people are going to really start panicking here. And I'll typically know when a few of my buddies ask what they should do with their long-term holding, because my one buddy does. What up, IAG? Polar Bear, that was my initial target. I really don't want to short into that candle. I don't. At least not yet. And I could be wrong, but I just don't want to short into that. Yeah, we are rejecting the open. That's just a brutal candle. Hell yeah, Patek. Now, Polar, what's been happening though is we attack Iran, and then come like 10, 11 p.m., Iran attacks us back. I would be shocked if Iran didn't retaliate. What up, Ron? What up, Kelp? I'm definitely going to be a little patient here around the market. Doesn't mean you guys have to be. But across the board, it's a bigger reversal than I'd want to see. Because it took us a little bit to get down there, and it took 2 candles to erase it. I don't even think that would cause enough panic. Because we're still up massively year to date off that alone. Please retest open for failure. You're watching ES off 60. I just feel like we need a couple more 5-minute candles to really establish something. No, Polar Bear. I wouldn't assume so. Because most people, because think about it. Like using margin on tech stocks, yes. What you're referring to though is the new PDT and margin requirements. Anyone who would have enough to impact the market of being over leveraged on a margin account would have likely already been using margin, and a $2,000 margin balance isn't really going to change that much. It'll get a lot of retail traders, but the amount of retail traders you would need to go under on margin requirements to impact the market would be astronomical. Because you're talking the average retail trader, I would say probably has an account sub $4,000 if they're trading options. But yes, there are numbers. I don't know exactly where the hedge funds panic limit would be. But at any given time, there's a certain level on the indices where hedge funds would have to start covering their margin basis. And when we hit that, that's when the panic really starts in general. Appreciate you, Miss K. Oh, that's part of it. It moved off the screen. But yeah, guys, we'll be giving away a 50K My Fund of Futures account, but y'all got to like the stream for it. We need 150 likes for me to give it away. If not, I'll probably do it at the end of stream, and that could be in 3 hours. What up, Miggy? I did, brother. Hope you had a good one, too. TCM, that's the greatest thing about aggressive pullbacks. Like volatility right now, there's a lot of potential to make money. As you make that money, take that money and just put it aside. Once we eventually get the dip to buy, that's when you capitalize. You can give it to me. Got it, Miss K. I'll tell you what, if the entire chat agrees, I'll give it to you. But we need 143 people all in chat to say it right now. I was talking about the account. Could be a little 5-minute 3-bar play to push above the open here. I'm just cautious of longs. Even though I think there is a chance we hold. Take NQ shorts off 420. Give it to me if this trade hits. All right, Daddy Gabe. I'll do that deal, but if it doesn't hit, you have to give 10 codes to the chat. Deal. Deal and a half. What up, Dev? Polar Bear, I'm cautious because this is what the chart looks like. If this is a 5-minute chart, this isn't where I'm overly eager to dive in longs. You know, it's the first green candle. So that's where I'm not overly eager to jump in. 10 codes, yeah. Yep, that's the stream privilege. Because if you think about it, I gotta neglect 140 people to give you the code. Use code RAKE. Oh, TCM, 1000% agree. And what a lot of people are missing right now as well is, yes, tech is selling off. But if you look at some of these names, we haven't sold off. AMD is sitting at the prior all-time highs. And then you start to look at a name like Microsoft. Stocks can start to look more like this before we really get into a panic area. Like if the market truly wants to pull back, it can pull back aggressively. SpaceX about to be a rug pull. Could you imagine? SpaceX IPOs at like 1.5 trillion. Rug pulls all the way down to like 500 billion. Yeah, and TZM, you just reminded me about some of my generational buys that I had on individual stocks that I sold for like 30%. I had AMD at $80, MU, I think sub 60. I had Meta in the 80s, Amazon in the 80s. Sold most of it. Woodfull Port. Yeah, ouch, but also I was negligent in my trading at that time. I didn't know enough about long term. My whole focus was swing trading, and that's kind of what I started capitalizing on with shares. I had never been able to hold anything because I had never really been taught, I guess, in that aspect, or I've had the experience with actually like holding that long. So my next plan when I actually start buying again is just load it up in one account and then just don't look at that account ever. unless I'm buying more. Friday pump with a dump in August. Elder, that could be true. The market, we looked at it. The market the last 3 years has bottomed in mid-June. So either bottomed or was a larger pivot around mid-June. So we'll see if that holds up. Yeah, Cool World. My whole thought process on SpaceX is give it time. I don't plan on buying the IPO. I think the people who are going to make money off the IPO are the ones that were in pre-IPO, especially the Twitter shareholders. Because a lot of people don't know those investors own SpaceX now, which is genius on Elon's part because he lost them a shit ton of money and then he's going to make them an astronomical amount. But no, I plan to wait a while to even touch SpaceX. What even is SpaceX, to be honest? Elon's company that keeps launching rockets. The one that he was looking to colonize Mars with, now he's looking to colonize the moon. But no, I wonder how many people know this. Because when Elon's investors in Twitter, there's a whole backstory behind it that I was reading into the other day. Obviously, those investors, right when he took Twitter private, got rug pulled exponentially, lost a shit ton of value, especially when you buy it at $500 billion and it goes private. Then the AI company Elon has bought Twitter, and then SpaceX bought the AI company. It does. KH. That's why I think the main people who are going to make money off of it are the Twitter investors from the beginning. I think it's a huge play right now where he's going to make them the amount of money he technically probably promised or talked about with Twitter. But no, it's still probably a great company in the long term to get into. I'm just going to wait a little bit to get in. Elder, I think that's what he realized too, is colonizing the moon sounds exponentially more reasonable than Mars. Victoria, I would wholeheartedly anticipate that. Wholeheartedly. That wouldn't shock me in the slightest. Polar Bear, I don't think he stares at the market because he's also said he does not care at times about costing people money, about the market, and about it pulling back because he knows eventually over time it'll recover. I think the biggest thing is right now he's just seeing what he could possibly do as a president. Nothing yet. Yeah, it had one nice move on oil. That's it. ES also had one nice move as well, which I capitalized a little bit on. So, I mean, it's just, give and take. But yeah, if you caught oil, let's say you got in here on the break through a stop like there. If you got out at the highs, this is less risk to reward than I just caught on ES. So I'd actually say there's better moves on ES than there is on oil. Unless you were able to slam a stop like up here or something, then obviously you can manipulate it to make the risk to reward look better. But no, I caught more off this on a risk to reward perspective than I would have on oil. What playlist is this? This is California Sunscapes 2025 Chill Out Deep House Mix. The YouTube account is EVE Deep. What do you mean, Mustaf? TCM looking at INTC. Yeah, Intel's holding. I think banks were holding. I don't know if they still are or not. JPM's holding a little bit. I think it's JPM and BAC. Yeah, Bank of America's holding really well. Bank of America hit new highs today. So banks are holding really well. And that's how it's going to be. We're going to see rotations, right? That's just how the market goes. DraftKings is up. Hood up. Damn, Hood's up 3% today. Why are we pumping? Am I missing news? We are pumping because there's currently more buyers than sellers, and that is all that matters, brother. That is all that matters in the end. Yes, there's probably some news derived off of it. Like Trump said, he's done bombing. But it's more important that there's more buyers than sellers in the market, and that's the main thing we should focus on. We're also not pumping. We just reversed that move that we made, you know? I wouldn't even say this move lower was us aggressively selling. If you look at this chart, that's just a reasonable little sell-off. He's done bombing today so far. Wafi, I was short ES. The volatility candle took me out. What was it, like 51? Somewhere around there? 51, 52? Somewhere around this area on my runners. You're 15 deep in YM. Fighting the open. Oh, you're short. Yeah, I forgot about that. I mean, hopefully you get paid, brother. Brian, I agree with part of that fully. I think he's just trying to see basically what he can do. But no, he has made an extensive amount of money so far. Extensive. What up, Samir? Don't sleep on it, says Bank of America about PLTR stock. PLTR moving? No. Fuck, PLTR got smoked, dude. Damn. Dude, PLTR bulls probably had so much hopium right here before they just got absolutely slaughtered. Damn. Yeah, Dot, we are at a daily sport. What would you have to see to short again? Something like we're kind of doing. Remember, we talked about the 15-minute. I didn't want to short this candle. I need a little bit more price action. Now we have more of a consolidation bar. I feel like at this point, we're either going to get an aggressively push down into the hour or we're just going to base. So I'd kind of want to let that play out. Because like, I can see the want to short off the open, and it can work. I'm not overly eager to dive into it. I'm not. I don't think it's like A+ for me, even though we are rejecting a resistance. I just think buyers are in control at the moment, even though we're not fully above the open. Oil's looking a little weak as well in like the 15, which can change. Like a lot of this can change in the next 15 minutes, but I think buyers are mainly in control. I mean, not like mainly, a little bit more. There you go, above the open, brother. We just tested one tick above the open. We need a little more above the open to be like, yeah, you know what? Longs are in play. Samir, this trade was good. I got in just before stream. I was up a decent amount down here. I wanted at least 220 and then possibly last month's low at 200 for an aggressive push. And then we got a 5-second 20-point candle that hit my stop and profit. Cold World, something you have to think about is, I believe Apex accounts have the funding fee. What are we doing here? 1 minute lower high, 2 minute, 3-bar play. Oil's getting a little bit of buying pressure. Gold lower. I want to see how this 5 closes. Yeah, wait. I'm waiting for this 5. See if this wick holds or if we end up getting a weaker close in which we can look for that 2-minute continuation. But yeah, I would check with the funding fees with Apex. But to me personally, I think I would rather have 1 alpha and 1 TPT over 5 Apex. That's just the way I look at it. New day, new dollar. You don't need to spam oil, brother. You don't. It hasn't moved. It is still range bound. Nothing crazy is happening. $15 inside bar. 5 within this little consolidation. 5 did fail to go lower, which makes me more cautious on it. 2 failed as well. Doesn't make me opposed to it, just makes me more cautious. Because obviously buyers are defending that area right around here, around like 52, 51-ish. Nice, Gabe. Love that for you. If we lose this 51-ish area on ES, we could see a pushback lower. ES has been wild today. It has been. The whole market's been wild. And that's the thing we've been just living with, right? We talked about it, I think, yesterday. This is the market conditions we just have to adapt to. You're going to get volatile spikes like this, right? You're going to get stopped out when you think structurally you shouldn't. That's just the uncertain times in the market, and that's the price action we're going to be getting, especially with VIX back up around 22, 23. My top prop firms are Tradify and Lucid right now. But those are the main ones I've traded. I haven't traded TPT, so I really can't give feedback on that. I should probably get an account just that way I can trade it and be like, you know what? I like this firm, but I just have never traded TPT. Alpha's not bad either. Yeah, Guy, I hope it works, brother. Yeah, Cole, I would lean towards that. Plus, I don't know what firms you trade. If you haven't, Lucid, you should have 2 50% off codes if you have not used those, which makes the account insanely cheap. Let's say ES held here. Would your target be 7,400? Probably not. 7,400 is extreme. If we were looking at a wider hourly reversal, probably 285 and then 305 would be my 2 areas of interest. If we get above that, you look towards just the levels I have marked, 360, 395-ish. 400 would be an extreme move, which I just don't, I'm not looking for a 150 point upside move if we get it. Cole, if you have not used them, you should be able to buy 2 for 50% off from Lucid. I think it's gone at the end of the month. So like when July starts. Hell yeah, Dot, love it. Cole, the Flex account. The Lucid Flex is 50% consistency on the eval And then no consistency on funded. You make as much as you want. You just need 5 days of $150 to get a payout. And it makes it real easy. Those are by far my favorite accounts. A step above Tradeify Select, I still love Tradeify because it takes 3 days to get there with Tradeify. So Lucid just has that 10% consistency buffer over them. Yeah, and if you're looking to get any prop firms, code RATE, code RT will give you the biggest discounts. Are you still in ES? No, trade WAP. I got stopped out in profits on runners. You're good. No consistency is in funded is what a lot of people need to use. They do. The consistency screws with a lot of people because they start limiting their targets. You either have to ignore consistency to an extent or just be more reserved on that account. And I like to have another account in which I can just let trades run. Passed my eval today. Hell yeah, brother. Happy for you. We're still slowly testing lower. We might end up getting the break. We're just slowly teetering. Either one of these candles needs to really slam and break this support, or we might be stuck for a minute. Alan, yeah, you can do that as well. You can make a bunch of money, then towards the end of the day, just lose a few. So the question, but how can people manage to trade funded for so long? At some point, you get moved live, right? Maybe it's just only a feeling, but some trade only funded forever. Jeff, there's a secret that a lot of people don't tell, and that is that they blow accounts. Because you don't go funded if you blow the account, or you don't go live if you blow the account. And that's the main thing about it, right? If you're consistently only on fundeds, you just haven't had an account long enough to be able to go live. Saj, these areas on ES are just 15-minute pivots that have been respected very well throughout the prior couple day sessions. This one is the overall pivot right around here from Tuesday that we've been respecting so far as an overhead resistance on this session. And it goes all the way back. I got this pivot from, holy shit, where did I get this one from? Back in early May is where that one's from. Looks like we are getting that little push back off the open. Oh, the accounts I've blown. Me and you both, winner. Me and you both. That's something I won't hide. I've blown funded accounts. I haven't made it to the live aspect. And that's just, you know, I'm still working on me as a trader. I make mistakes. Two-step on shorts here. Beautiful. Do you do minis and micros? I do. It depends on the market structure. If we're as volatile as we are right now, I'm doing micros. Even if I want to trade minis, my aspect is I'll trade 10 micros. How long did it take you to get your first payout? That's a really good question. And I don't know the exact answer. I would have to go back and look at my Top Step accounts. Because in the beginning, I traded Top Step primarily the entire time. So I'd have to go back and look at all my Top Step data. It was months for sure. I didn't get a payout right away. Jeff, I think blowing an account on purpose is dumb. That would just mean that that person's scared of the live aspect because they think they're going to fail the live. And at that point, just go live. If you fail it, go to another firm. It's easy. But no, they do have payout caps on a lot of firms. So once you hit a certain number, they just won't let you use them anymore if you haven't gone live. Why a lot of people are against copy trading. I mean, there's different reasons. One of the main reasons I would say is because people have just blown an aggressive amount of accounts in the past. Because it amplifies your overall cost basis on the accounts. Like if you're on Apex, it's up to 20 accounts that you can blow at once. That hurts, right? When you lose one account, it sucks. When you lose 5 because they're all copy traded, that really sucks. I like the fact of I'll copy trade, but I only copy trade a small amount together, so I can't lose all of my accounts on one bad day. Wait, if you go live and blow the account, they ban you. A majority of firms don't let you trade with them, or they put you on probation. Like I believe Lucid puts you on probation for a set amount of time if you blow the account, and then you just have to work your way back into it. Yeah, it all depends on the firm. Different firms have different rules. YM, we never plan to stop. Well, 365, but then we'll see where we're at after that, you know? As long as you guys are here, we ain't stopping. So far, happy I didn't take any shorts. We'll see if that thesis stays that way. But so far, I'm content that we didn't. We have a 15-minute inside bar. There's not really much to do off of that. I would want to see either a break of this 15-minute right here, or we break it and then watch the reaction. Like if we test the highs, sweep session highs, and then fail back lower, maybe I'm open to shorts. If we do the same to the lows, maybe I'm open to longs, you know? I can see today trading either way because where are we? We're in a fucking range again. We are, once again, Asia session range bound. Not fun, but we'll see. A lot of opportunity still. So really blow the... Cole, I'm going to read this how I anticipate you said you meant it. So really blow the account before getting live makes too much sense. I don't think it does. I really don't. Even when you said it's more ego and pride to trade live, not even. I would much rather be live with a firm. Because that just shows you can keep an account for a long enough time and be able to go live. And you can get daily payouts. Parameters change exponentially. Plus, if you have a larger amount in your accounts, typically when you go live, they'll give you a bulk payout. Patek, what account are you on, brother? Also, if you just got to the aspect of when you can get a payout, then it'll be tomorrow that you can do it. Yeah, see, Jason, that's what I'm getting at. Like a lot of people say, they just don't want to go live. Why? I would love to be live on an account. I would love to. I would have no issues with it. I would much rather have that than be funded. Yeah, Patek, tomorrow. So just don't, if you met the parameters of a payout, don't fucking touch the accounts. Don't. Touch another account. Do something else. Don't do that one. No, Jeff, you can have multiple live accounts, I believe, with Lucid and Tradeify, which is another aspect why I don't get why people don't want to go live. If you can only go live with one account, then I get it. And that's how it used to be. It used to be like, let's say on Tradeify, you would have 5 accounts. You go live, you only get 1. But then now you can get up to 5. So they made it so you can have more accounts so people try to go for that live aspect instead of just blowing up and then repeating the cycle. Also, I feel like I skipped a chunk of chat, so let me read through real quick. When you take a step back, having a day where it feels like I can't lose and I'm reading everything perfectly. TCM, that's a great day to have. You feel like you can't lose? It's a great day to have. But until you lose, just make sure if you lose respectfully. You don't lose a shit ton of money. Just got my first Lucid Flex. Hell yeah. Boy, bro, welcome to the greener grass. They say it's not always greener on the other side. It is. It's exponentially greener. 5-minute failure to go higher. If we get this little consolidation, if this can stay an inside bar, it could be a really nice short opportunity. Might not want to stay an inside bar with this 5-minute candle though. Might not want to. Yeah, for anyone that doesn't know, Lucid right now, if you have not bought accounts in the last month, are $70 with no funding fee for a Lucid Flex with no consistency on the funded account. This is the greatest thing you can get if you're looking for a prop firm. Polar Bear, once the 2 accounts are gone though, like once you use those, it does go up to like 98. So it's basically the exact same account, $3 more. But also Lucid pays you, I've gotten 2 sets of Lucid payouts with accounts. And one was sub 1 minute, one was 6 minutes. So you can't beat the payout process. Look at NQ 420. I told you. Gabe, I don't trade NQ. Occasionally I'll trade it, but I don't. Also, for this trade to be worth it, if it goes to low of day, then 100%. You were right on that. Shortest time frame I watch is going to be the 2 minute at times. Most of the time, though, it's the 5 and 15. But no, Gabe, nice trade so far. Eric, it actually depends. And obviously talk to a CPA about this, but you said once you really scale your futures trading, trading taxes are way in your favor, trading your own live account rather than 1099 prop. It depends because I trade prop firms through a business. So I have a lot of expenses I can put through that against the payouts I get from them. So I guess that's probably where the asterisk would be in that. Yeah, if you're doing it yourself and can't write off evals, which I'm sure you should still be able to, but also I'm not an accountant. I don't know shit about taxes. You trade props as a business. You have a business and you set up your account with them. Easy. Once again, talk to a CPA. I'm not that guy. I have a guy I give all my info to and say, here, what do I owe? And he tells me. Nev, what do you mean they have better risk management options on the TopStep platform? I'd like to know what you mean by that. Polar Bear, no. Yeah, Cole, this session is whack. I would much rather be cash than be short with how we're trading. Logan, what are you referring to when you say trendline liquidity? Are you buying the touch of a trend line? Is that what you're trying to tell me? You said this trend line liquidity looks so sexy. If you could pick one time frame as your execution time frame, which would you pick? That's a good question. Probably the 15. So that way I can still have like day trades and decent structure on it. I'd probably go off the 15 chart if I can only use one. If I'm looking at longer term swings, I'd be looking towards like the 4 hour. But I think the 15 would be the chart to look at. What up, man? How you doing? Appreciate you being here. Just so you guys know, and anyone else who might be new in chat, this is Project 365. I am one host of 5, right? We're doing it for a year. So far, we're in like week 7 or 8. Well, we're doing it for a year, but I doubt we're stopping. You know, it's just Project 365 for that. I stream right now, obviously 7 to 9 p.m. usually 10, sometimes 11. I have a problem. Alan streams from 1 a.m. Eastern to 3 a.m., the legend himself. So that's pre-London. Then you have Jake, which is Rake Trades, the main man. 8:30 in the morning to 11 to 12-ish, whenever he wants. Also, he kicks us off Sunday market open at like 5 that day. Lamelli is, Mitch is 12:30 to 1:30 in the morning. And then Lamelli is power hour right after Mitch. Gold is dumping hard. Is it still moving? Not yet. I mean, it tried to dump hard, but this is the kind of gold that AXP talks about when he gets in it. When gold's doing this, that's when AXP is probably trading it. But no, gold is aggressively bearish. Indices are fighting. We're now right below that 51, 52 area, and we're fighting that from below. So that's going to be the overhead resistance here. So far, we are just slowly trending lower. I think if we do get selling pressure, we're going to see a more aggressive candle at some point. The problem here is, like, if I shorted here, I would want to stop up here. And that's a 16-point stop. And that just ain't worth it. That just ain't worth it one bit. Because even to low of day, 14, so it'd be less than 1 towards the lows. I don't love it. Man, what do you mean, can you please guide? What you referring to? Okay, Nev, so I see. It's basically big tilt prevention in that aspect, right? If you're worried about locking contract sizes and symbol locks, what they basically gave you was Tradevate. And what a lot of people don't know, if you trade on your self-funded Tradevate, all of those parameters are there. You can lock it. So I could lock it so I can never trade NQ or gold if I wanted to. As well as I could never use more than 10 contracts if I wanted to. And someone just said that right after. What up, crypto? Buy the dip. We dip buying right now? I mean, I'm not opposed. Problem is, we are just stuck. We're range bound. We have highs up here around 66, lows down around 35s, and we are right in the fucking middle of it. We're right in the middle trying to see what way we really want to go. Robert, are you in a self-funded trade of it? Prop firm, can't do that on prop firm. You can't set contract limit or individual asset on prop firms. Yeah, I guess you can on Top Step X, but that's it. But no, there are risk settings you can do. On Tradevate, you just go to the upper right corner where it says application settings and click that. And then you'll be able to set risk parameters for every account. Deep charts can? Interesting. Alan, I definitely don't disagree with that. Because in theory, bears, this is the same thing we've looked at a few days. Like a few days that is basically time to bottom. Once we have gotten this more aggressive candle, we spike the low. This should have sent us to low of day. Like I said, if I want to be short, I would want to see an aggressive 5-minute candle that slams us lower. This has every right, if bears are in control, to slam us to low of day. And currently we're not. We're holding very well. We're not even close to low of day, and we're back up towards the highs. So no, I definitely see what you mean. And I'm not opposed to it. Nice trade, Wop. I didn't know that about Tradevate prop. You must be trading Temu Tradebit. No, Nev, that just means he is on a self-funded account if he can do that in Tradebit. That means he currently is likely on his own capital and not on a prop firm, because you can do that on Tradebit. $15-minute close of that failure to go lower. Above the open wouldn't look terrible. Oil getting a bit of a push lower as well. Because now we're back above yesterday's lows, which is important. If we finally get confirmation above the open, maybe even like a little retest of it, could give a nice solid entry. CVM, that's how a lot of people are. That's also why I like risk to reward. I don't think we're going to get the retest. We'll see though, but NQ just ripped 200 points. So let's see what came out. Iran said they attacked the U.S. Fifth Fleet. The U.S. Army said no warships were attacked. Okay, okay. I don't see any other news besides that. So, I don't know. We ripping, though. News is exhausting. I read it, but I don't use it to trade. I just like knowing what's going on. But no, I mean, I guess it was a clear sign when we talked about it down here that 5 minutes should have pushed. Technically set a higher low there. If you look at this, I think Victoria talked about this before. Someone talked about it. I don't remember exactly who. But higher low there. Technically, if you're a head and shoulders kind of trader, you got the right shoulder. See if this holds. The problem is, yeah, I don't think we're getting an entry here. If you're in, congratulations. I just don't think we're getting an entry. NQ, a little light, 220 points, 230 points. You good, Gael? Oil, actually a 4-hour lower high in theory. No, because the high was there. Structurally, though, this could get some more aggression. This could easily get some more aggression. I want to go get spaghetti. Leave it alone for 2 minutes. That's the problem. You left the charts. You guys know if you stare at the charts for 5 hours straight, it's not going to move. The second you leave, it's going to move. What the fuck was that? Buyers. Sellers couldn't take over. I mean, we talked about why. Sellers should have easily been able to take over. They weren't able to. Once the sellers, it proved they didn't have strong enough selling pressure there. The buyers easily took that. I wanted something, you know, a little bit, maybe go like this, then like here, and then we get the entry, and then we do this. But market had other plans. So we're still waiting for another trade. Why are we moving up? People are buying. I'm still not convinced. Dude, imagine we just full reverse this now. Straight up like this. Immediate reversal all the way back to the lows. NQ 200 points up, 200 points down. Man said, can you please guide me on how should we trade props? Because I've been trading stocks with my personal funds. With same risk management on props, it takes too long to pass the account. Man, I mean, That's the thing though. There's no one, I don't think there's one set way to trade props. What I say is trade it like you would your personal account. And if you trade low risk, $100 risk, let's say, per trade, it is what it is. I have people I've worked with personally that do that, and they've gotten funded. They've made it to the point of getting funded. It just takes a while. And there's nothing wrong with that. Worst case, what you can do is look towards the 25K accounts. Those have tighter parameters for targets, so you can get to the funded aspect sooner. So if you trade smaller size, just you got to use the correct account for it. Yeah, Rob, I saw that as well. No naval vessels were hit. Wait, Daniel, your turn. Oh, if we go right back down, you're turning everything off and going outside. Which I know we haven't been able to do a whole lot yet on stream, which is what it is, right? We are going to be doing a 50K account giveaway later on stream. All you have to do is like the stream. Once we get 150, I'll give it away. If not, it'll likely be more towards the end, which can be around 10 o'clock. Do you see any promising trade setup? Retest to long would be what I'd be looking for at the moment. It's just how big of a pullback are we going to be able to get? Because the problem is we just made this large of a move. We could easily sit now up here for a little bit, but it's really just going to depend how aggressive our buyer is going to be here. Because if we hold this, we can rip above 300. We can go retest 300 pretty easily. But right now, even on this 2-minute candle, you're running 10-point stops. So if you want any real stop loss, you're going to need to trade aggressive with it. Yeah, 60 on NQ. That's honestly not terrible. $30-year just climbed 3.8%. We'll see if this holds though, because I feel like buying right here is more of a chase. And I'm not looking to chase this market. Dream world, if I wanted to long, would be like a very slow, steady pullback to the open in which you buy. That would be like, all right, now I'm interested in. If we aggressively pull back to the open, no, I'd be more interested in potentially shorts there. TZM, I'm like neutral on it. I could see this going either way here. I really could. Yeah, CBM, I agree when the time is right, but it's like, is that time going to be right? The big question is when for everything here. Take my eval slow because I blow my phone in on Tuesday. Smart way to do it. Smart way to do it. Robert, the way I view that is when it's that slow, methodical kind of pullback, the way I view it is what the market's currently doing is just slowly making their way lower, trying to find where the buyers are really going to defend. And at that point, you find the support and it gives you that potential to long. If you get the more aggressive, that just screams uncertainty to me, to where like if we start going like this and we slam all the way down to the open and then we rip back up here and then we go all the way back down here, that's just not going to be something I'm interested in. And if we slam all the way back to the open and just skyrocket above new highs, it is what it is. I would rather see more of a consolidated pullback. Maybe it doesn't even have to be like to the open. Like if we sit up here for a little bit, I'd gain more interest. Waxed, what prop firm? I would also mesh with support, like Kyle said. Yeah, Robert, in the way I'd be looking at it too is like there's two options here. You have this where it's more of an aggressive move lower versus this, where it's just that slow, steady. Because what the slow, steady shows is buyers are supporting it on the way down. So unless bears can take over and get a stronger push lower, you're likely going to find support. It's just a matter of when and where you're going to find it. Wax, did they tell you what rule you broke? TCM, I get what you mean, probably on a larger term perspective. Here's the thing though, if I'm looking to long, I'm probably going to look at like 1.5, 2R, immediately take half position off, and then see if the runners work with a stop and profit. That's the kind of long I would be looking for. Where if I'm looking for a short, I'm looking for a short down to like 200. So I'm in the thesis where I'm willing to take a potential long trade with lower expectations if the market fully agrees with it. But if I'm looking to short, I'm going to be more aggressive on the potential move. And I'm not looking at it like this is the market where, oh my God, I would only long. I'm definitely open to like, I wouldn't even say lower conviction, but just lower potential outcome on a long if I get like a picture perfect setup. I'm also in this market right now, I need a higher conviction long setup to be able to take it. Where shorts, I'm willing to stab on retests. Logan, you have to trade once a week on most prop firms. Once a week or once every 10 days to not lose the account. Depends on the prop firm though. Jag, I have never used a trade copier platform, so I cannot answer that personally. Chat might. So if chats use trade copiers, let the man know. But I've never copy traded across multiple accounts. I don't like the thought of using a third-party platform to try to execute on accounts. Yeah, Wax, I would just try to inactivity. So they said they failed you for inactivity, but you traded it yesterday. I would try to show them. If you go to your broker, does the account still show up? Or did they fully remove it from your broker already? Because that can save you right there. What's the points from the low to the current high in the 5 minute? 51. That's insane. Yeah, 51 points from the low to the high at the moment. I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know if I would want to long the open. I don't. YM looks weak here because it failed that high. $15 upper wick. Might just grab some liquidity there. I'll be watching. CB, you won't short NQ at all? No, Dot. It is. We are not overextended. We are not overextended in the slightest. And I feel like, and this isn't targeting you, but I feel like that word is overused in an exorbitant amount. Like there's, when you look at moves today, ES right here, 62 points. Rallied a little bit and then continued. Like there's ES this morning, 89 points. We are definitely not overextended for sure. That's not what I would refer to it as. I also don't like looking at the market and saying overextended, because the market really doesn't care about overextension at all. There was probably people on the daily chart screaming this was overextended here. Screaming it was overextended here. And again here. And we just continued to make new highs. If you use that to like make you sit on hands, agreed. But if you use it to like counter trade, then that's where I get a little skeptical and weary on it. That's interesting, CB. So do you just be very, very patient in markets like this and wait for the possible short or possible long? Sorry, not short. What does the market want to do here? If we see buying pressure, see how we react to like 72 if we get there. I'm trying to see if I want to trade this lower high. I'm going to try a short here. I'm going to throw a stop at 73. We just could easily end up pushing back higher. Something I'm willing to take. Worst case, it stops me out pretty quick. I'm just more so willing to call the bluff in the market if it sets up versus long. I'm willing to eat stops if it does. Any 50Ks under 95? I'm sure there's some out there. Yeah, TCM, I'm reading what you said. I agree. And if I get stopped out here, it is what it is. I was trading the like low time frame kind of failure there, which if we hold, we hold. I think I would rather try to short this market and worst case eat a stop, which might happen, but we'll see. Biggest thing I'm paying attention to is just how we react to this 72 area. I think if we stay below that, shorts can easily play out today. And if I go here, I'd probably want to target like that. Might get wicked here. It's trying to hold. Volatility is just pretty high. Kyle, what you mean stop based on rules, not price? I'm going to put an order at 64.50 if it hits. Oh, I accidentally filled it. Well, I wanted to put a limit. I accidentally did a market, so I guess I added. I was going to add when it broke below 64.50. Have you ever had Best Loser Wins? Yes, I have. And that's part of the reason I've read and listened to Best Loser Wins probably 8 times. Like religiously. That is my favorite trading book by far that I've listened to. And I agree with a mass majority of what he said. That's also why I just tried to add when it broke 64.5, because we would have set up, broke the lows, and I would have added then, but I accidentally fucking market ordered instead of limit ordered and took a fill. But oh well. But no, that is by far the #1 trading book that I read. I love trading psychology books. I've never read a single trading technical analysis book. Which book did I say? Best Loser Wins by Tom Hogarth. I wish this wasn't like an astronomical amount of points, because I'd probably just throw a stop up there, to be honest. TCM, I like this trade a lot more. I know I talked about possible pullbacks in the longs. Looking at the chart more and analyzing it, I like this potential a hell of a lot more. Worst case, it does test the open, holds, I'll eat a stop. But no, with this, I'm looking towards low of day around 35 for a trim. We are volatile right now. Bombs landing in Iran. Gator, that was hours ago. Oh, explosions heard in the city of... Don't know how to pronounce that. 42% today with options. Hell yeah, Rod. Love that. Yeah, TCM, I feel like that's where a lot of people blow up, is they think, oh my God, the market's made so much of a move, and they try to fade it for the most part. And that's where people start shorting on that overall rally. The market can't go higher. It can't go higher. Well, yes, it can, and it will. See, TCM, I don't agree with that one for the most part. I agree with adding into profits. And that is why I wanted to have an order fill at 64.5. But I accidentally filled one at 67 instead on the ad. Because then as it broke that structure, that's when I would be okay adding into the trade, because it adds conviction to it. Bro, we are violent right now. I'm anticipating this stop to be way too tight with how the price is reacting, if it's going to work. I think there's a chance I eat this. That's a crazy retest, though. We were up like probably, what, 1.3 R? 1.1. Alan, that's why I look at the news just to know what's going on, because me and my buddy talk about it every night. We'll be like, because it's, dude, there's some crazy things out there. My buddy's one of those dudes, he loves like reading into the defense stuff, what's going on with global conflicts. He's very well knowledgeable in that. Has anyone heard of the Pentagon pizza tracker by chance? Because this is one of the craziest things that he's told me about. It is insane. And then after I'm done yapping about this, I'll catch up on chat. Yeah. Dude, it is. For those of you that don't know, there is someone on Twitter. There's an account called the Pentagon Pizza Tracker. And they pay attention to all of the people, like all the pizza shops around the Pentagon, to know when all of them are getting heavy surplus orders. And there's like a correlation they pay attention to of like global conflicts with the U.S. going on as pizza orders skyrocket. And someone literally sits there the entire time and watches them. Like last night, there was a bunch of certain kind of bars that were empty. And like the nearest Domino's or whatever had larger than normal influx. And the guy will literally update on that. And that just shows that people are still in the Pentagon at this hour. So shit's about to go off. And then we were bombing the hell out of Iran after. So it's just crazy that people just sit there and do that the entire time. Because you know, some person is just sitting there watching all that. Unless they have it automated somehow. The firm has 199 rules causing you to fail, but super cheap. Price is not worth it. Agreed. We'll give you the commission. This started to say this could be a potential lower high. First off, the upper wick on the 15-minute. Also, what I was paying attention to, I know I didn't talk about it a lot, but you guys saw me flipping through a lot of charts over and over, and that's what I do when I'm just stalking a potential entry. The YM, it spiked the overnight session highs and closed back below, giving a more aggressive failure above this range. So I'm anticipating this is probably just a liquidity grab up at the highs. See if we can get that buying pressure above, which we didn't. Obviously, NQ and ES closed stronger. But at that point, I was looking to see if we can get that push lower. You look at the overall structure of the charts. Yes, we are up, but it's still more so in a range, especially when you look at like this. We spiked on the hourly. Now we have 18 minutes. If this hourly pushes any bit lower below 63.25, which is just below our entry, we start to possibly form an hourly failure to go higher, which can lead to a bigger continuation lower in like the next hour. Problem is it's volatile right now. I think this stop is decently tight, which could be an issue here. And it doesn't have to work, but it's a trade I'm willing to take a stab on. I think this shouldn't have held if it's going to continue though. So this 2-minute getting the more aggressive buying pressure, that automatically makes me think, all right, maybe this isn't going to get continuation. We'll see though. I think if it does work, it's just going to be violent price action, which is what we're currently getting. I mean, we're getting 15-point range right now. So it's kind of hard to figure out a stop unless you're going to throw it all the way up here. But I don't love a 16-point stop. Wait, Waxed. My Funded Future told you since you were sick for 5 days, you need a doctor's report or a hospital report to reopen your account. It's got to be a joke. Who the hell gets a doctor's note as an adult saying you were sick? That can't be real. I mean, I'm sure it's easy to make up. Just go to the doctor and get it. But that's gotta be one of the craziest things I've seen. Like, it's just, nah, dude, you have to physically prove you were sick. What if you just had the flu? Who goes to the doctor for getting sick unless you're like dying? So I can tell you, I don't go to the doctor if I'm sick, unless I'm like desperately sick. Doctor may cost more than the account reset. Rob, the problem with him is time. He said it took him over a year to pass that eval, and it's his first funded account. So that's a huge time aspect there for him. Just ChatGPT a fake note. Honestly, probably possible. Probably very possible. If you miss a day trading with My Funded Futures, you must provide a doctor's note to keep your funded account. Otherwise, they will terminate you for inactivity. That is fucking crazy. That is crazy. I'm screenshotting that and putting it in the stream chat because that is one of the wildest things I've read. If true, one of the wildest things I've read. Also, I will say, from what I've seen, prop firm supports are going off a cliff today. They are. They have been wilding today from everything I've seen, which makes sense. The market being this volatile probably has people nuking their accounts left and right and then trying to create a ticket for something. Yeah, that's weird, hysteric. That is weird. Right, guy. It should be 1 week to 10 days. We might get stopped here on volatility alone. We're just in a massive little range trying to figure out which way we want to go. I still like that setup I took wholeheartedly. We're just struggling with some volatility. Because the problem is, same situation as yesterday. Like if we spike highs at all, we're stopped. Because we're going to spike above 73 at that point. If we spike, I would assume it probably goes at least up to 77s. And I'm not moving a stop 4 points for that. I'd rather wait for a different entry if it sets up. Polar Bear, I don't know that answer. I don't use TradingView. I know on Trade C, you can just drag it. I don't know if you can set in OCO, which is something I don't love. I don't think you can set an OCO after you get in it, after you enter a trade. Yeah, the only thing that has me like questioning the My Fun and Futures thing is you saying you missed 1 day. That's what I don't understand. And I got hit. Bastards. All right, we'll see if this holds or not. So I'm 1-1 on the day. How do I personally view this consolidation on GC? It looks like shit, Zay. I think that's all I got to say about it. This just looks terrible. I mean, you're talking 53-point range, just straight sideways. Look at that. We went up, hit 77, rejected. Who would have thought that's where we'd test? Weird. I just don't have a lot to say about it because that chart is just straight sideways and there's not a whole lot to say, unfortunately. Now we'll move down, probably Logan. But I literally just said if we break 73, we're likely going to go test 77. We hit 77, 75, and then slammed right back lower. So the market's just volatile. No, Zay, always, you can ask. I don't know what to say about it for the most part. Because it doesn't look good in general. It's technically still in like a lower consolidation holding below the open. We can look for continuation, but it looks like GC just wants to base out a little bit after selling off 340 points, which makes sense. It's just an unfavorable kind of area. I don't see a clear as day I want to short or long this, unfortunately. Eating sushi makes you better during the Asia session, right? I think so. Yeah, Rob. I mean, it makes sense with it doing that because a lot of times I put my stop where the market shouldn't go if the trade's going to still be valid. And it just retests that area and then rejects back lower. But like the way I put it, over here, a test of 77 made sense. Right here when we got in and I'm looking at this lower high breaking, that test wouldn't have made sense to me because then we're looking at more of a 2-minute trying to hold an uptrend, So once we did hold this with this wick and then we set this candle right here, at that point, I'm like, you know what? 77 is likely going to get tested here while I was already in the trade. Right. Dude, Ryan, imagine having a Neuralink and you just think about trading, but you really don't want to, and it just starts executing for you. It just starts buying and selling as fast as possible, like as fast as possible. You go on a tilt, you're tilting without even tilting because your brain's just doing it. Could be, Rob. Yeah, I mean, I'm not overly eager to short again. That's a strong 5-minute close. Looking at everything too, the 5-minute set up perfectly for us, right? Failure, not even a failure, but we triggered the lower high here, set it, got a little bit of a weaker close, tried again to rally, failed this. If we broke this low and held below, I think we would have gone to low advance, but we didn't. We immediately held and slammed back higher. So sellers just couldn't take over that level to get us that push lower, which, you know, happens. All you hear in your head is order fill. Dude, I'd cry. You wake up and took 500 trades in your dream. Logan, that could be genius if you're doing well. But no, that trade I took on the short, I would probably take every time without hesitation. What platform to use the trade? I use Trade C and Trade Evade, Polar Bear. I don't trade on TradingView. Trade Evade is really nice because you can set the OCOs to any contract you want and orders throughout the trade. So I set OCO so it canceled it. Problem I have with Trade C is that you can't set an OCO where let's say I'm in this trade and I have the stop loss here, take profit here, but I want to put a trim right here. I either have to decrease this order to be able to put one, but then if I put one and it stops me out, that order still sits there. So I don't like the fact that you can't actively add OCOs to your position unless you can, and I haven't learned how yet. CB, what you mean they use long NQ during the dump to be safe? Like during this dump? Because if so, the retest of the open worked. I mean, we talked about it before. If it slowly trickled down to the open, I could see the long thesis playing out. I really like the short there overall. Scalp? Yeah. Could be. I mean, if you caught it, beautiful. By the way, chat, we are currently at 100 likes with 200 people viewing. If you like any part of the stream, not even just my stream, any stream in general, like the damn stream, show some love. Help us get to 150 for the giveaway. Which isn't currently on stream. Accounts up 388% in 3 days. Hell yeah, Taylor. Absolutely love that. There's been a lot of good opportunity on the Qs and SPY intro week this week. A lot of really good opportunity. Love that, Jello. Glad you did well on Asia. Yeah, Taylor, I've said it before. You probably just obviously weren't on stream, but I think trading futures exponentially helps you trade options. Because trading futures is solely price action. You don't have to worry about anything else at all. So it helps dial in your execution from the way I look at it. And then if you just start to actually learn how to trade the Greeks a little bit, that helps your options as well. But no, I think it definitely benefits it, especially because you have to be more cautious and patient on your entries with futures. Where's your R multiple total this week, or break even or down? I'm up this week, maybe like 3R, nothing crazy. Because I haven't traded a whole lot, but we caught a really nice trade early in the week. And then I think took 2 losses yesterday. And then I'm break even on this stream because I took this trade and then took that stop. Oil's trying to hold the open. Gold's fighting its open. So we have oil and gold at their open. All the indices are now above, holding well. Need the market to dump or they put me in timeout. Guy, if we keep ripping, I'll throw you in timeout if you need it. I'll give that to you. Agreed, Jello. Agreed. And too many people, that's why a lot of people struggle with the losing trades. I forget who. Wait, do you follow a guy named Pax by chance on social media or no? Because I think that's where I heard it from. Because he says the exact same thing. But no, I heard it from a guy named Pax on Twitter that losses are just a lesson. And he calls them like an expense to be able to get the profit you're looking for. Love that, Jello. But no, it's a good psychology to have. Because a lot of people don't like to lose. When you get rid of the thought of it being a loss, then yeah, I can completely shift it. Because trading is a business in the end. It's just what expense are you willing to risk to potentially get this type of return. Love that. Love that it worked for you. Agreed. Yeah, and if you think about it, like right now, let's say if I was a revenge trade type of person, or like if I still struggled with that, right here on this candle would be a very good spot. A lot of people would revenge trade. And I would have done it in the past. You get this big spike up, especially me saying we're probably going to retest 77. And they'll immediately start like selling back in once we get this candle closed. They won't wait for the actual structure to confirm it. And then it just rallies again. That is an area in the past where I would have tilted off my ass wholeheartedly. What's my monitor computer setup? Taylor, I have two 27-inch curve monitors right here and right here. And then I have a 27-inch vertical flat monitor right there. CB, I'm usually 2 plus R. If I really like trades, like really like setups, I go for stuff like this, where this one was initially way down here. You know, it was like 7 or something, but I ended up trailing out at 2.8 and then I got stopped on runners. This one was looking for like 4, just a low of day. And then if I have maybe a little bit lower conviction, I'll be around like that 2 to 3R area. But the way I trade it is I take profits typically around 2R and then try to let the runners do their thing for the most part. Yeah, let's see what Tokyo does in 30 seconds. Which year of your trading did you stop revenge trading? But probably early 2025, to be honest. Dude, psychology was the hardest part for me, all in all. It was the hardest part than everything. I mean, there's times I'll occasionally still do it, but it's very rare now. But I would have to say at the beginning of last year, being fully honest. CB, are you talking about on NQ? Well, yeah, obviously, if you only trade NQ longs. Yeah, Bish, you guys know I'm always transparent about everything. I got nothing to hide. I could sit here and be like, year one, I was profitable and never struggled at all psychologically. No, dude. I knew price action out the gate after like 13 months. I would say I was very well known with price action, and that's also why Jake put his trust in me way back then. Psychologically, nah, dude, that shit fucked me up for a while. When'd you start trading? January, it was either January 30th or February 2nd, 2021. I don't remember the exact day, but it's one of those. It's in that area there. Yeah, Adrian, that's the good thing too. Like Alan, he takes a lot of 1-hour trades, but you can't argue shit because he got $800,000 in payouts last year. So it obviously works. And that's the cool thing. Everyone has different setups and different structures. But also there's a lot of times where once trades work, like if we got a push below the open and actually got a strong close below, I probably would have teased my stop a little bit. So I'm also willing to move my stop with the trade as well. Like here, I got stopped on runners at 51, which is probably right around 1R on the remaining contracts. Yeah, Rob, agreed. I don't think no matter what, I'm not perfect in like psychologically with trading. Not even fully there. There's things I still struggle with at times. And it's just being a human. AXP, how you doing? Well, we all know how you're probably doing, but how you doing? Oh no, AXP, I get it. The market starts selling off and you just quit showing up to stream because you made it now. I get it. You just don't want to be here. Yeah, Adrian, that's the interesting part is we're all, like a lot of us trade completely different. I don't think there's any two of us that trade even remotely similar. Obviously, Christian's going to be drastically different because he trades ICT. Mitch is out there because he trades Gamma. How you doing? Time out till tomorrow afternoon. Sorry to hear that, guy, L. HB, you're looking off that sweep, right? So I looked at that earlier. The sweep we just made, like on ES below Tuesday's low. I don't know if NQ. Oh, NQ didn't hit that low, which is interesting. I would have thought it would have at least got that extra 40 points to test it. All three other indices swept that low. NQ did not. Now at this point, I'm definitely not interested in shorting the market. I took my one stab for it to work, and it didn't work. She tried. Think you should do it before we go? It could. It could. You going DGen hours? Can you switch your answer to bullish? No. The only way you can switch is if I make a new poll. Appreciate you, Jello. Yeah, pretty soon I'm going to be posting more on social media. I took a decent hiatus from it, and I've actually enjoyed it. But I'm going to get back into it. Because there's a lot of stuff you can use just to talk about in general based off what's going on in this market. Adrian, quad witching is the quarterly expiration for longer dated contracts. So it's June, like next week is quad witching. You know, like OPEX, it's OPEX on steroids. So instead of the monthly expiration, you're looking at the quarterly. See you guys out. Adrian, do you pay attention to Mitch's streams at all? I like sandwiching. Dude, me too. I only like a good sandwich if the meat to bread ratio makes sense. If it doesn't, I don't like it. Which is why Jake hates me for it, because I love burritos. But Adrian, that'd be a good question to ask Mitch tomorrow, because he'll give you all the back end stuff on that. Come back for the Mellies, that's fair. Anyone catch that long off the open on NQ or ES, actually? There's so many strategies. How did you find yours and decide on yours? Well, the main foundation of mine is from rake trades, right? You guys see how much I pay attention to structure, multi-time frame analysis. And then every other aspect around it, I wanted to make it as simplistic as possible. And just because that's what it is. And I feel like a lot of overall structure-based strategies are very similar to exactly how we trade. They just have a lot of different terms on it to make it sound more complex. And that's how a lot of it goes. But no, I'm just paying attention to broader structure on the market. Where we should test, where we shouldn't test, how we should react to it, and then watching the reactions and going off of that. And I do that across multiple different time frames to really give me the conviction. This is the main aspect that I trade off of, personally. I have EMAs on here. I don't use the EMAs, but it's a lot of trial and error. I mean, I've been trading for almost 5.5 years now. And I've been working on this, how I trade for 3.5, almost 4 years, and just tweaking it over time to what I like. So it just takes time. Just figuring out exactly what you want, how you want to tweak it to you. And this is what works for me. I'm always open to adding, like testing out new things as well. Like I've used Bookmap before in the past. I've thought about going back to that just to use it for a little extra confluence, or possibly even like Gamma. But yeah, JD, for me, it was just who's someone that looks like they're doing well in trading with a strategy that doesn't seem overly complicated. No, Kyle, I agree. And I feel like that's one of the most transparent things in trading in the space. There's so many people who use a lot of complex terms to make themselves sound very smart, when you could keep it very simplistic. Like even if you look at Stock Market Wolf, the way he trades, he doesn't use overcomplicated terms to make it sound like he's a super genius trader. I feel like everything I've seen from him, he keeps it more simplistic, and he has a defined strategy that he just rides with. I like support and resistance. That's exactly what most trading is. And it's just how they view support and resistance. Yeah. Even ICT, the more I watch the Melly stream, I realize ICT is just support and resistance with a lot of complex terms added to it. And they sound complex, but they likely aren't. I just haven't put the time in to understand any of them. Men trend. Trying to rehack my Fire Stick to watch the Knicks game. Yeah. You can't watch it? Rain, I always talk to him. Dude, I love that dude. He's such a character. Yeah, TSF. I mean, that's perfect. Even if people like are just on stream, and if I can make someone realize like they don't need to trade how they trade, which is a way that's probably not working if they're looking for a new type of strategy, then that's a win for me. There's people in here that I have the simplest thing. People who stopped trading NQ and started trading ES and found good results off of it. That's phenomenal. If I can make even that littlest bit of impact on someone, I'm happy. I don't expect anyone to try to trade like me. I don't want anyone to even try to copy a single trade I take. I want you guys to just learn. Even in chat, you guys talk a lot too. You guys teach me shit, which is awesome. Oh, Rain. I've talked to him about all of that. And yeah. Yeah. That's why he would also trade such aggressive size and be a scalper, because he just couldn't do it with that going through his system. I don't know. I've never paid attention to trades by Sai. I don't think I follow him at all. Gary, I don't use EMAs, but they are on my charts. I should probably take those off soon and just throw like a VWAP on or something. But no, I have the 920 and 50. I don't actively use them personally. No, Robert. I don't know anyone that trades successfully on the 30-second chart. I'm sure there's people out there, scalpers. I don't know what chart Rips trades on. I know he trades on a low time frame, so he might be one. Cool J, that's different on that's a case-by-case basis, brother. I focus on what they need to focus on within that individual. I don't have a set thing because I don't want people to try to work with me one-on-one and me just have a repetitive aspect that I do with each person. Because for me, I want to save that person money as well when I work with them. So I'm not just going to feed them a bunch of crap they don't need. And it's case by case. And there's multiple people in here that I've worked with, because I see him in chat. Man, no, trades by Sai, I've never seen his trading. I honestly couldn't even put a face to the name personally. Trade bot. Just, you can lose money, brother. That's an easy thing to do at times. Hope you get it back waxed. Yeah, TCM, we are pushing very aggressively here. Any account with 1 day to pass, Tradify growth would be the 1 day to pass. But then you do have you have a 35% consistency on funded. But Tradify growth is 1 day to pass. What do we have? Likewise. Chat, we are 124 likes. You guys get 26 more. And with the total viewers I see compared to the viewers that are in chat now, a lot of y'all probably didn't like the stream. And I know a lot of y'all are going to like the stream once I do the fucking giveaway, but you don't like it before for some reason. But if you get up to 150, so 24-ish more likes, I'll run the giveaway. If not, there's no defined time of when it'll be. Rob, I like that area. Yeah, I talked about it earlier, like this 7,300, 7,305-ish. TBT, any TBT discount code? Try code RAKE or code RT. Let me change banners. Oh, I don't even have TPT on this list. Son of a bitch, I gotta add it. Like 1 hour ago, appreciate you. Trade Bob, you locked it? Is it an wait, Trade Bob, is it an eval? Like, can you unlock it? Because if you should be passing, but you made too much, and if you can lose money and pass it today, I would do that. Enter fuck yeah, just one. Congrats, crypto. Just got 6K in bonuses from my Lucid Live. John, they have a bonus structure? See, and people don't want to go live. Fuck you, dude. If they're giving you bonuses, hell yeah. It's a TPT account. I don't know what that means. I haven't used TPT. Hitting like guarantees your next trade is green. If I took the opposite of all my trades, I would be so rich. Winners, that I used to be the exact same way. I mean, shit, if I took the opposite of this trade, well, no. If I took the long here, I probably would have been stopped out here. And I would have just been miserable at that point. I would rather be long than just get wicked like this. But no, I think the long entry was either right here or a limit order at the open. If you caught this candle, even up here, either of these two setups, that I would like. What's the 5 look like? Entry. Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one on the 5. So probably like here would be around 80-ish. Solid entry. About to log into my other emails and run up the likes. Appreciate the support. Even though there's enough people in here to get us up there. You guys need 11 more. CBM, who got wrecked? Oh, you're saying if you did that, you get wrecked both ways? Or that person would? Because you seem patient, so I don't think you got wrecked both ways. Trade Rob, you had 10 MGC contracts on a 25K account? Holy shit. John, you went live from an account you won on stream? Or won before streams? Because if so, you had to win that like week 1, and you have just been crushing it. Ren, something I've thought about doing, and I didn't tell Jake about it yet because I got to figure out how to do sub-only mode, is to put the chat in sub-only mode for giveaways. You got to be sub for at least 60 seconds to be able to type in chat. That guarantees people are going to subscribe. Even if you subscribe just for a day, you'll come back and subscribe again tomorrow. And eventually you just won't unsubscribe, and it's a win. Now, Ren, a lot of times with futures, I'm using market order to get in the trade. And if I'm actively watching for a possible trim, I can get out with market. But usually with trims and stops, I have limits. 8K on that account. You went live from the account I won in, I know you typed it somewhere, first week of May. So that had to be the 3rd week of streams. Yeah. Because we started 4/14, I think. So that had to be the 3rd week of streams, and you're already live on the account. Brother, you have been fucking crushing it. Happy for you, my man. Do that so I have a better chance. The problem right now, I don't know how to put it in sub-only mode. There's a way to. What I'll probably do is test it on like Jake's stream tomorrow and figure it out there. I don't want to start messing with shit. And then it all bugs. Oh. I'm clicking buttons I probably shouldn't click. Reactions, fine. Community moderation. Probably, I'll try it tomorrow. Hell yeah, John. What is that rally we just made? Wait, from the lows, we were up 462 points. God damn. Hourly pulling back. What's the 4 hour look like? This could be a short-term low. If that's going to look that aggressive, this could be a short-term low. RTY held up very well. Could be a little interesting here. I definitely want to see how we react on this 300 area. I was 500, literally 3 seconds before they move up. Logan, so probably on this spike, I would assume. Or were you in up here somewhere? No, you're more of a scalper, right? So you're probably in up here somewhere. Spurs up 21. Chat's going to be down bad, dude. Connor, can you imagine the world if the Spurs come back? If the Spurs come back, New York is going to riot. Be creative. You did the same trade as me, or you did the long and got stopped? Crypto. What was your bet, crypto? Oh, the Spurs? Hell yeah. Long, few minutes too early. Yep. Yeah, that failure retested the open, then ended up getting that little push. The problem was when we were there, we were just volatile. In this little range here, it was just violent in general. So I'd expect a decent amount of people probably got stopped there. But all I'm probably going to do, you already saw me sizing lower today. I'm probably going to continue sizing lower and probably just rip a little bit wider stops trading. You were short and got stopped, and then you went long. But why wouldn't they take it all to 7? Valid, Rob. You know how much more money they make off of those 3 extra games? It is probably astronomical. Just TV deals and commercials alone is probably insane. I think that would be hard to rig. Probably not as hard as I think, but I feel like it'd be hard. $28,195. So XP, you want to take out Tuesday's low, get about 30 points below it, and then get that entry. I see you. If it gets there, probably just going to be a big patience game. Yeah, Crypto, I do sports betting just so that way some of the games are more fun to watch. I don't watch the NBA a lot. Like I truly, when I looked at my phone there, I was looking up what the total wins were for the finals. Because I don't watch NBA. I don't know why. It just doesn't interest me a lot. But NFL and college football, I watch religiously. Usually while working, though. It's rigged. There's 2 people saying it's rigged. I think Lamelli keeps making these timers 4 minutes instead of 5 minutes. Give the chat 60 extra seconds. What up, Naturally? Can you tell the Knicks to stop goofing around? No. No, because Naturally, I mean this in the most respectful way possible. Coming from baseball aspects, New York fans are annoying. And I really mean that with the Yankees. New York's fans are fucking annoying. What up, Ollie? I can say it because Cleveland fans are also annoying. I've seen how they react for the most part. Horrible at times. Some of my buddies, diehard fans, horrible. Put some money on the Spurs to win it all. And Philly football fans are just, delusional. If their run game gets stopped, Philly is nothing of a football team. Absolutely nothing. Especially after losing AB, brother. Or not AB, yeah. $2,800 incoming. Yeah, we're 50 points away from that. That could easily test. But I can tell you some of the worst moments I've seen from my friends. This was a while ago though, is after the Yankees kicked the shit out of us at home and during a Michigan game at Ohio State. 2 horrible times. If the Knicks lose tonight, I'm going to flip a light pole over. Ollie, I'm not going to lie. I hope they do just so we can see that. I want to see how you flip a light pole upside down. Tesla's up $5. That's not crazy. That's like 1.3%. That's not insane. What the hell? Where did I click? Especially on Tesla. $5 after hours. Doesn't even recover half of today's candle. Yeah, that's not insane at all. Unless it's up 5%, then that's a little bit of a difference. If I can go 153 likes. All right, Miss K. Sounds like I got to run a giveaway. Yeah, see, Ollie, that's the one thing about Cleveland, though. Every other sports team wins a bunch, and they destroy the city at times. Cleveland, we threw a parade with 3 million people because we went 0-16, and nothing got broken. We celebrated sucking so bad that we threw a parade with millions of people. And everything was perfectly fine. I went from Jake and blew it day 3. Miss K, I expected more. Nah, you got the next one. Only in Cleveland. Dude, the worst part is we didn't just go 0-16. In a 2-year period, we went 1-31. That's impressive. Wait, did I start the giveaway? I don't even remember clicking that. All right, Jack, giveaway's open. You got 5 minutes. Chat, to enter the giveaway, all you have to do is type !, type the word enter, and then press send. It's right here. Do that. Make sure you type it right. You only need to type it once. Right? You just got to type it one time. You type it one time, you get your entry. As long as the bot replies to you, the bot should reply anyway. Even if it doesn't, you probably still got an entry. Just because the bot says you have received 1 ticket, that means you get 1 ticket to enter. Also, I just saw someone had a foreign language correction, which means they probably typed it wrong. I don't know where that went. Good luck to that person. Trading theory. You are typing L enter. Type exclamation mark enter. LOL Adam. What did Adam do? What did I miss? Poor Charlie, you got this. What's Chad doing? Am I missing it? Anyways, exclamation mark enter. Just because it says you have received a ticket, that does not mean you won. At the end, we will pick a winner. It'll say you have won. Congratulations. If I didn't win, can I give it to a fellow chatter? Sure, Miss K. Yeah, we'll do that. Now, Miss K, do you want to just roll it again, or do you have someone in specific you want to give it to? How does it affect you if I trade bigger TP than 50% of target? Jay, I don't know what you mean by that. How does it affect you if I trade bigger TP than 50% of target? I'm sure that I is supposed to be a U, but if I trade bigger TP than 50% of target, I don't know exactly what that means. Thank you. I have a dual language keyboard. At least I'm not about. Oh, Adam, did you type in a different language? That must have been what translated it, because I saw a translation pop up and then. What I missed, Dot, we're doing a giveaway. 50K, My Funded Futures Rapid. But chat, there is 90 people in. You have 2 minutes left. I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick. You mean 50% consistency rule? Most of the time, I don't really care about consistency rule. If it's on an eval, I won't go over because I think that's just dumb. It doesn't benefit you at all. If it is consistency, then... yeah, I don't pay attention to it a whole lot on a funded account. I have no problem making a little bit more because in the end, once I get a payout, I'll just have a bigger buffer and I'm okay with that. But I'll be back in a minute. This shouldn't stop before I get back. No, it's a minute 30. You guys are fine. Minute 30 left though, and there's 97 people in. You guys got to get it together. There's 200 people in here. Exclamation mark enter. Even if you've won before, you can still, you don't have to enter because you can't technically win. But you could always win it and then just be like, ah, damn, I've won before and give it away. And then you just look cool. You know, it looks like you're being nice to other people. But I'll be back in a sec. Chad, are we kind of back? We back? I just had to switch internets. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that internet just full crashed. Well, you know what the good thing is? We're still gonna do. No one won yet. Wait, hang on. For some reason, it's not on my PC. Okay. Pick the winner. Out the way. If you think I'm going to pick the winner of that poll or that run when there's 112 people that entered and 61 in chat, no. You guys are about to get a generational opportunity percentage-wise to win an account because we're running a different one. So we're going to close that one and just start right back up because there's no way I'm running it when we go from 200 to 61 because my internet went out. And then afterwards, I'm just going to end stream. Because obviously a lot of people jumped off. So we're going to close that, start a new one. No point in trying to run that because I'm going to go through 12 winners before someone in chat wins. So give me 1 second. First time I've had to cancel a giveaway. Oh yeah, yeah. Anyone that's here, you guys are gonna be set. Leave it active for 1 minute, no more. No, Adam, I'll leave it up for a little bit. Did we just jump back up to 200? All right, well. Yeah, there's a big ass storm around here, so we'll see if my second internet holds. We'll see. We're getting hit with a storm. One internet's down. I got one back up, and we'll see if it can stay. The wind sounds fucking nuts. Brad did just reopen the giveaway because I don't want to go through the headache of trying to get people that left because my stream crashed, you know? So we're reopening it 5 minutes. Unfortunately, yeah, you have to wait another 5 minutes. So it is what it is. Someone said Jake was bad luck. Did Jake jump in and then everything crashed? Audio gone again. If audio is gone, it doesn't matter. We're doing a giveaway, and we're probably just going to end stream. So you guys can't hear me at all? No, audio is fine. No, I can hear myself. Audio is fine. I was gonna say I can check. Some of y'all just got issues. Mine's good. Bro got his shit on mute, probably. Anyway, chat, we're doing a giveaway. Kind of crazy that it dropped. It must have just been a bug saying that we only had 40 people, because now there's 200 again. Appreciate y'all popping back in. But just because of the storm outside, I'm now on AT&T internet, and it's more reliable but less internet in general. So we'll see if it holds up. I gotta go get a new modem. Maybe people thought it was them and they left. Probably, Bass. Probably. To be honest, I got back and I'm like, dude, what's going on here? Adam, I'm leaving it at 5 minutes, brother. I am. I know Lamelli does a little bit shorter. That's fine. But I'm leaving it at 5 just because there's people that are doing something while listening to the stream. There's people watching on their TV. I'm giving them time to be able to go to their phone and get in. Do you actually live in the middle of nowhere? Not probably what you're thinking, Polar Bear, but yeah, I live in the country. I think Mitch does like 30 seconds. Mitch just wants to do the giveaway and get it over with. Mitch is usually also on a time crunch because he has Lamelli right after him. I can go as long as I want. FYI, I've made 1K on the long for gold, 2 separate eval accounts. Hell yeah. Good news, did not blow up today. Love it, Mike. Chad, I might lose power if you can still hear me. I might lose power. Is it rain? It's a lot of shit. We have really bad wind right now. How much time's left? There's a minute 20. I'm going to give us 22 seconds, then I'm ending the giveaway. Just because I don't want to lose power on a second giveaway and not be able to do it. So we're going to have someone win for sure. Do you get tornadoes? Yeah, we do. We've gotten 2 so far this year. Both of them on stream, by the way. Do you live in a third world country? No. I live in the middle of nowhere where the roads are lined with trees. So we get a bad storm and trees just start taking shit out. Nah, wind's not. I mean, I doubt it says 14 mile an hour gust, but that's a lie because I can hear the wind. Anyways, I'm going to close entries and pick a winner. LSM8. Are you here, brother? I know, Rye. Move to PR with Jake. I'd love to. LSM8. Are you here? After the giveaway, though, I'm likely going to end stream just because if my power goes out, I don't want to have to deal with that. Because I've lost power on stream twice, I think. LSM8. He's gone. He was just here within the last 3 minutes, so he should be here. He should be present. But you guys, I'll take it since he isn't here. Cool, Jay. If you can have all 197 people agree with that, then you get it. Appreciate you, Adam. GC, what did you just send? LSM8. I am giving you a minute 30. What I don't understand is because I closed the giveaway. If you enter a giveaway, why would you leave? Unless it's an alt account, which could be a sign of it if he already left. Adam, that's what I'm thinking it probably is because we can't tag him. He's got to figure out which account it was. Sam, I had someone a few days ago. I had 2 people in a row not claim accounts. So the third person won. And I restarted the giveaway so this didn't happen. I'm here, tag me. You didn't. Oh, I can't pick you. He's got 25 seconds. If I don't see a reply in 25 seconds, it's GG's. Even if he replies later, it is GG's. Might be a swing and a miss, unfortunately. His power went out. He's got a phone. At least he should. Who won? GCX. So far, nobody, because they have not replied, and that is time. There's no way out the way won. Out the way. Have you won before? Appreciate you, Adam. We needed it in the beginning, but now I think we got it dialed in for the most part. Out the way. I know you talk about giveaways all the time, brother. You should be here. Never. You've never won? Bet. And I can always double check. So after stream, I'll definitely check because we always do the double check. Shoot me a DM on Instagram. So far this week, there have been 3 people that have won giveaways and not claimed them. So unfortunate. Shit, LSM, where'd you go? Congrats, brother. Bad time to have used the bathroom? Yeah. Samir, I'll figure that out. No, TCM, you'll see if I take a trade. It'll be right below my name. See you later, Ron. Have a good one. Bugatti 90. I've had more expensive ones with the market. I'll tell you that. Out the way. Let me know when you shoot me a DM. Nice, brother. See you later, Ali. I'm probably hopping off in a minute just because I don't want to deal with my power goes out on stream. We already had the Wi-Fi go or the internet go out. I got one internet left. Have a good one, Samir. What do you do at home when the power goes out? Sit in the dark and hope it turns back on? It's about all you can do. Bro, last time the power went out, it was on stream. We got hit by a tornado in this area. The power went out when I was streaming in Discord. And I told chat, I'm like, weather's crazy right now. I might lose power within 2 minutes out. It was out for like 32 hours. Phone was completely dead for 18 of those. I was just sitting around, went outside for a little bit, but it wasn't like phenomenal weather. And I just couldn't do anything. Max payout hit across 5 accounts. Hell yeah, Neva. Hell yeah. Congrats, brother. Bro held Amish. I did. Okay. Out the way. So that's you. Smooth. Just to double check. How do you cook with a bonfire? Well, when that happens, you just go get food, usually. What up, Paulo? You said new, not USA. What you mean? You're just not from the USA? Dude, the worst part is, TZM, when I had that power outage and the power was out for like 18 hours, I was in an option swing trade that expired the next day. So the next morning, I had to drive to Walmart, get a power bank for my phone to be able to plug it in to be able to get out of the trade. Furniture makes a fire. We ain't got enough furniture to burn. Yeah, out the way. I was just double checking to make sure you were smooth, which you're the only DM I got, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah. Yep. All right. I got you, brother. I'll get you the code after stream. Christopher, my brother, because it's my brother's house, he's looking to get an all home generator for it so we don't lose power. So when the power goes out, we'll have a backup generator that'll kick on once he gets it. But weather's picking up a little bit, chat, so I think I'm probably just going to wrap it up. I'm still probably going to be watching the market. No matter what, if I enter anything, I'm going to throw an OCO on because that's a little risky. Nothing I'd love. If we get an hourly consolidation bar, I'd look more so for the potential break of 300. If we do end up pushing back lower, I'd be looking for a possible short to play out based off the 4-hour close. So I'll kind of see how things close there. Not the 4-hour, the hourly, sorry. If we get an upper wick on the hourly. Bill's a real one? He is. My brother's a G. Companies are doing that, can't rely on the grid anywhere, especially where I live. Because the problem is, it's just every single road is lined with trees. So all it takes is one tree to fall and the whole area is out. Damn, TZM, that's brutal. I haven't done that. I've tilted off my ass and lost a shit ton, but especially SMCI. I can't even imagine that. Old ash trees, yep. Yep. And also because of where we live, like if a city or a town goes out of power, they're focused first. We're like last priority, which sucks, but it's a part of where we live. Anyways, chat, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end it. Just because weather's getting a little bit worse. I don't want power to go out. I would probably stay on for a little bit longer if it wasn't, but I think I'm gonna call it a night here. So perfect. Out the way, I'll shoot you a DM right after this. Get you the code. Rest of the chat, have a good night. Alan is gonna be live at 1 a.m. Eastern. So if you're still up, you're around, make sure you hit that stream. He's a legend. Well, I'll see you guys tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern. Have a good night.